Mayor Spiegel, council members, thank you. Appreciate the opportunity to speak. As I enter my neighborhood, I see a small promenade center. Hopefully it will be bustling sooner. It's been struggling in the past. What I don't wish to see is a gas station. The first thing into Sierra del Oro, our namesake, will now be a gas station. But that's just a thought. There was a map up here just a moment ago. Yes, this has been approved. 1991, this was approved for a gas station. And at that time, there was a city council article, Press Enterprise. The city council was discussing approving the movie theater, which has long since been out of business. They were very upset about the number of vehicles, the traffic driven into the area, and even neighbors mentioning that the problems those children would cause. So we have grown 25 years later immensely. Traffic has increased. There are plenty of studies. These studies are law-driven, but they're not the real world. When I leave my neighborhood, sometimes the traffic flows freely. Other times it does not flow at all. So it's a matter of really suiting the lifestyle of the neighborhood. So there are all these numbers. They could be accurate, but are they accurate to our lifestyle? So even if this were to actually go in as a gas station, I would actually request that there was like substantial refiguration of the curbs in the driveway. If you are not accessing this, traveling west on Green River, you have one small entry into this promenade. There's parking on both sides with businesses, and now you're going to be trying to jet a left into the gas station. There's also crime. I did ask the Corona Police Department to run the crime statistics. Crime was not terrible around a gas station, but there was an increase of 1.5 to 2 point additional crimes per month. Now, I've been staking out the gas station every morning between 7 and 9 down off of Green River, the Shell, the Union 76. There are always homeless people. I have not found a morning in which the police weren't perhaps questioning someone. Someone was living in their vehicle, sitting there, just drinking their coffee with backpack and so forth. So that's what I have to say about the actual criminal, I suppose, loitering and the traffic. Now, as far as the amended sign goes, there's just a bit of inaccuracy, and it bothers me because I don't think it's been honest. In the sign amendment, they're requesting to amend the sign that has been there. The property has an existing pole sign that was constructed at the northeast corner of the pad near the street intersection. The timing of that pole sign's construction is unknown since no permit has been found for the sign. Plus, the current sign regulations would not have allowed for such a sign on the property. Therefore, the sign was likely to have been constructed illegally, and that applicant is required to move the sign, which must be completed prior to the issuance of a building permit for this location. The sign, this project was for Olympic Barrington. Ron Rieger is purchasing this from Olympic Barrington. I have a receipt with me that shows that that sign was put up in 1995 by Olympic Barrington. So they were in full knowledge, full compliance. They had asked Vincent Kale of Mini Mart and every other person that's on that sign to please contribute. And I do have a receipt. So I'm going to end on that note. These strategic plans, all of these public reports, I have read 300 pages. I have every document you've probably ever seen. Now today, you've been told there's 8 people interested in this. Our neighbors have lost interest. People have busy lives. They've kind of fallen off. They're giving up. For those of us here today, we still believe that there's a possibility that neighbors can be heard. But when this went to Planning Commission, who don't have as much of a vested interest in the community as you all do, there were 37 letters. There were 200 signatures gathered. There was much more of an effort. But people have lost hope. They've given up. And that's that. So I guess I will end that on this note right now. Please think it through. People do care. I see both sides, but I think there's some real legitimate items to consider. Traffic and crime, definitely two of the highest on the priority. So thank you very much. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, Ms. Fox. We have John Fox, followed by Jeff Messner, followed by Solomon Shapiro.
Evening, Mayor, Councilwoman. Thank you for this opportunity to talk about the gas station and convenience store. We believe it is the wrong project for this location, and we also believe its applicant is making some questionable claims. There's little need or benefit for this type of business at this location, as you can see from the diagram. Proximity, all Western Corona Freeway exits already have at least 2 gas stations with convenience stores, and the 2 closest ones are within a quarter mile of the lot in question. There's also an existing convenience store within 100 feet of it. Neither of these stations in the upper left, are they? Yeah. In the upper left, neither of those contribute to traffic on westbound Green River in the morning, when the applicant says about 80% of its business is going to be happening during rush hour. Filling stations are recognized by cities everywhere as belonging in industrial or heavy commercial areas, not residential neighborhoods. The developer claims this one won't be in a residential area. Yet there are over 240 homes immediately south of and abutting the Promenade Center, separated only by a steep, unbuildable slope. You can see some of those homes. The nearest one less than 600 feet from the proposed station. Numerous well-researched articles, including one in Scientific American, which we recently emailed you, are adamant that living in close proximity to a gas station is a health risk. The developer's own application indicates there will be some effect to air and water quality, visual and light pollution. We believe that no degradation is acceptable. This will be the only 24-hour business within a mile on the south side of the freeway, a situation that is likely to attract crime. As Susan mentioned, Corona PD statistics bear that up. Our biggest concern probably is traffic congestion and the safety, which we think will be very negatively impacted by this particular project. Some of the other examples of neighborhood gas stations within neighborhood shopping centers don't have the traffic situation that westbound Green River does in the morning. There will only be one way in and out from westbound Green River, which does not require driving the entire length of the Promenade Center. And that one entrance would require 3 left turns from westbound Green River, and it sits on a blind curve on Dominguez Ranch, visible to northbound traffic for only about 150 feet. The pad itself is to the middle there. This is actually the view from the nearest home. Traffic traveling down Dominguez Ranch, making the right turn. And there is the single entrance that would require 3 left turns from westbound Green River. That entrance is only visible to northbound traffic for about 150 feet. There are already daily near misses with drivers cutting through the Promenade Center during morning rush hour as they focus on the stoplight to their right and not on oncoming traffic to their left. The developer expects an additional 73 vehicles per hour in and out of the station during peak traffic hours. With additional traffic from the Foothill Extension, new apartments being built on Palisades, and new homes about to be built at Green River and Paseo Grande, this intersection cannot handle additional congestion during rush hour. We believe the developers made specious claims to the Planning Commission about the desirability of offering flex fuel at this station. We've heard that this is not going to be a destination, that this is simply a convenience. Flex fuel is designed to be a destination since there are so few stations. It's also a questionable destination claim because flex fuel is only usable in about 10% of vehicles on the road, and only about half of those people know they can use it. It also adds one more tank, storage tank, to a gas station of this type. We believe that they're making specious claims about competition with existing businesses, and also have stated falsely that the management of the Promenade Center is in favor of the project. One final safety issue: we question the wisdom of allowing a business that stores tens of thousands of gallons of explosive chemicals so close to a residential neighborhood and main access in and out of Corona. We personally were denied fire insurance at our home about 800 feet away from this gas station by a major carrier. And the insurance underwriter that we have right now says they likely would not rewrite our policy because we live so close to Cleveland National Forest. This gas station is equally close to Cleveland National Forest. A location, this neighborhood, which has seen 5 major wildfires within a half mile of this spot within the last 20 years. We respect the property owner's rights to develop on the site. Maybe a bank, Trader Joe's, casual dining restaurant, just about any non-24-hour business. But a gas station is the wrong project for this location. So please vote no.
Boy, you got that right at 3 minutes. Okay, we have Jeff Merschner, and then we have Solomon Shapiro and Sharon Blodgett.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. Serve the residents. That's what we heard a couple of times. I'm one of the residents that lives right behind it, and I'm not interested in it. And there's several other people that aren't interested as well. I also wanted to bring up the fact that I believe that there's incorrect data that's been presented to the City Planning Commission. The previous person also mentioned that it's been argued that it's not going to generate that much more traffic because the traffic is just passing by. But the owner himself states that it's unique because it carries flex fuel. So it actually is a destination location, and therefore there will be more traffic. And it's traffic that that intersection just can't handle. As has been already mentioned, the exit for the gas station is going to be right onto Dominguez Ranch Road. And in the morning when there is large traffic flows, you're going to have a queue of cars that's actually going to block the right turn lane to turn onto Green River. This is for people that need to go further into Corona for schools and groceries and everything else. So that's something that I don't think the traffic people have really thought about. And then it's been mentioned in the zoning that it's not immediately next to residential, and that's true. Behind it is open space, but it's a slope, so it really can't be used for anything. Immediately behind the slope is our neighborhood, and you know, obviously we're concerned about noise, about fire hazards and crime and things of that nature. I understand that the California Air Resource Board has a good control on leaks and pollution and things like that regarding the station itself. However, the station needs gasoline, and you have to get it there on a truck. And I don't want the truck to have an accident because of the traffic that we have here, and then we've got a fire. And I recently moved into the neighborhood a year ago, and I had to contact about 30 insurance companies in order to get insurance for my house, because it is Zone 10, and my backyard is open brush, and the other side of that street of Dominguez Ranch Road is open brush. So if there's an accident because of a fuel truck, because somebody spilled gas when they were pumping it, because they threw out a cigarette, it's going to cause that brush to burn, and it'll burn my house down. And then on the environmental checklist, item 9, it talks about the minimal hazardous situation, but gasoline is a class 3 hazmat, flammable fluid. So I encourage you to really look at all of the data that was sent to you and see if it's really biased, because it certainly seems like it is. That's all I have to say. Please think about serving the residents, and the residents don't really want it. Thank you.
Thank you.